Hi, my name's Elliott Bailey, and I'm a cellist with the Chineke Orchestra. I'm currently studying for my Masters at the Royal Academy of Music in London, and I have taken part in many of the regular orchestra projects and the chamber music projects, including a lot of the radio broadcasts. With me right now is violinist Didier, with whom I've played a lot with, both in chamber music and in orchestra, and we've had a lot of great experiences together. Would you like to say a bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Didier Osindero. I'm a violinist currently studying at the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester, and, and I'm in my third year of undergraduate studies. I'm also a violinist with the Chineke Orchestra, and I've played with Elliott on many different occasions, including in chamber music situations as well as the bigger orchestra.
So we've had a lot of great highlights together. You know, there have been the BBC Proms, we had the European tour where we played in the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, there have been radio broadcasts and the TV work and things like that. What experience has been a real highlight for you with Chineke in your time playing there?
So I think for me it would definitely have to be the BBC Proms in 2017. That was a phenomenal experience. It was the first time I played at the Royal Albert Hall. It was one of the first times that I was actually playing with the orchestra. So all to all, it was just an incredible experience. And to see all the supporters there and to get to play really good pieces of music, basically, and to enjoy that experience was awesome.
Sounds good. And out of interest, how long have you been playing with Chineke? How did it start for you?
So I actually started by playing with the Chineke Junior Orchestra, and that was in 2015. And then a year later, in 2016, I played my first concert with the professional orchestra.
Nice. So, as part of these questions, we're going to be choosing influential pieces of music, whether they're tracks, whether they're songs, whether they're classical or jazz or funk or anything. Some piece of music that has been really influential for you. So, during these difficult times, everybody's been quarantining and locking down. You know, there have been a lack of live jobs. It's been difficult to stay motivated, so everybody's been switching to recording projects and things like that. How have you been filling your time and staying motivated during this difficult period?
Yeah, it has been quite a challenge actually. I think just because there's so much time in the day, it's sometimes difficult to know what to do with all that time. And as musicians, we're often perfectionists, we're often seeking to practice things to perfection and keep on going, which can take its toll on you over a long period of time. So that has been a challenge, but what I've done is try to structure my day so I know that I'm going to do a certain amount of hours of practice or set certain goals for myself for each day so that I can actually know what I'm trying to achieve, and I'll try not to do any less than that, but I also won't try to do any more and overstretch myself during the day. And I've also alongside that been recording things for friends and for some colleagues as well, when they've asked for an extra violinist or they've needed someone to do a particular thing. Another kind of hobby of mine now is music production, so I'm learning how to produce my own music, and I've been spending a lot of time doing that as well.
That sounds really, really interesting actually. What kind of recording projects have you been involved in, and what kind of music have you been recording?
So far I've been involved in a recording with the Capitol Orchestra, which will hopefully be released sometime soon. And I'm also involved with making music for one of my friends who creates spoken word poems, and I've been involved in kind of producing the music for that in the background. And I've also done something for an up-and-coming rap/hip-hop artist who needed some strings on one of his tracks. So I've tried to keep my recordings quite diverse and try lots of different things because now I have the time to do those things.
It does sound incredibly varied. You've been up to quite a large range of activities. So speaking of different genres of music, for which it seems you've been involved in quite a lot, what kind of music would you say has influenced you quite a lot? What kind of piece of music would you choose as something that has been very influential for you?
Yeah, so I'd say particularly during this isolation period, if I was to pick a particular song at the moment, one thing that I'd say is a non-classical song actually, which is Riverman by Nick Drake. And I'm sorry, I just had to read the name there because it's really something that I discovered recently. and it's a song from 1969 from a 1969 album. Absolutely beautiful song, heavily kind of based around the singer-songwriter genre with the use of guitar and things like that. But there also is a string section which is kind of blended beautifully with the rest of the song and uses some unusual harmony and gives it a really beautiful color. So that's something that's definitely been a kind of isolation hit for me.
Nice. So, in an attempt to get everybody to know the real Didier, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. What kind of things do you know now that you wish you'd have known at 15?
I'm really glad you asked that question, Elliot. It's quite a surprising one. I wasn't expecting you to ask something that deep, but really, actually, it's a really good question. And I think I'd probably say that when I was 15, I would wish now that I knew when I was 15 that taking every opportunity as it comes and doing your best in that is a really kind of good way to set out a path for your career. I feel like I'm learning that more and more now, that actually just making the most of every opportunity, however small it may seem, it can really do great things for you as a musician and really help you out in your journey as a musician.
So with that in mind, you've developed your career, you're a lot further on in your violin playing, you're getting out there in the world. Is there any particular piece of music that you would have listened to at 15 that you will still listen to now and you would still find as influential as it was when you were 15?
So I'd probably say something which is slightly basic, but I'd probably say the Sibelius Violin Concerto, because it's an absolutely beautiful piece. It's a piece that I kind of discovered probably when I was around 15, and something which I came to really, really love, and I still love it now. And yeah, there's a particular recording by Christian Ferres, which is on YouTube, which is absolutely phenomenal, particularly the second movement. So I'd probably say that.
Nice. The Sibelius Violin Concerto is incredible. In fact, it's one of the few pieces that, as a cellist, I wish I could play. So, speaking about this recording that you found heavily influential and that you seem to have loved quite a lot, are there any other musicians that have done things in their careers or done things for society that have really influenced the way that you play music or live your life or go about your career?
So I'd actually probably say a couple. The first one would have to be my current violin teacher, Yossi Zavoni. He's an incredibly wise man, both musically and just in life in general. He sometimes drops pearls of wisdom that I sometimes pencil into my parts as well. I'd probably also say Corey Henry, who's a jazz musician, and he usually plays Hammond organ or synths as well. And he's someone who just has a lot of joy when he's playing, and that's something which I think is so important. Kind of the most important thing with music is that you're doing it joyfully, as long as the music requires that. And yeah, I'd love to emanate that in as many performances as I can.
So, incredible. Well, speaking of jazz, is there any jazz piece that you have found has kept you sane during this period of lockdown?
One track that I'd have to speak about is probably Gwilym Simcock's The Way You Look Tonight. I wouldn't say it's necessarily kept me sane, but it's kept me kind of fascinated, because in his arrangement of this jazz standard, he plays in two time signatures at once, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. It's kind of like a technical display, which is just amazing. But it's also a beautiful track, and the original standard is also a beautiful piece. So.
Nice. Okay, so currently we're isolating. You're at home, I'm at home, back in our respective cities. What luxury item would you take to your place of isolation?
Again, another surprising question, Elliot. I'd probably say like one of those really nice, what do you call them? For like fountain pens that you can buy online. Because I imagine I'd probably be wanting to like write to some people, and as long as I can find something to write on.
So, at this part of the interview, we're going to have some quick fire questions. So, I'll ask you a question, you just fire off an answer, and let's see what happens. Okay, first up. How long have you been playing the violin?
Since I was 4.5.
Who is your favourite composer?
Beethoven.
How old is the violin you are playing on?
230 years old.
What has been the favourite place that you've performed in?
Royal Albert Hall.
What is your favourite mode of transport when on tour?
Boss.
Which note resonates the quickest on your violin?
Open D.
How large is the largest stage you've ever performed on?
2,000 people.
Accordion or banjo?
Banjo.
Why?
It's a string instrument.
What if you had to play it instead of violin?
No problem.
Why do you always nearly slip over during performances?
It's just how I am.
What haircut do you wish you could try if you could reverse it immediately?
Ooh. Go bald.
What is the optimum room temperature during a chamber performance?
19 degrees.
Why?
You're going to be quite warm after playing string quartets or string quintets, so you need to have a room that's quite cold.
Fair. Is this the best interview you've ever had?
No.
Right, well, let's wrap it up there. Well, Didier, it's been wonderful speaking to you, and hopefully everybody out there, or the Chineke fans, got a good chance to see the real Didier in the violin section there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elliott. This has been really fun. I hope you're doing well, and I hope everyone who's going to watch this is also doing well.
Yes, thank you very much. Hope you are staying safe, and hope everybody out there stays safe too. Thank you very much.